Yeah, that's right. We're back here at the Top 5 Pod Everything podcast. This is week 18, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. I need to read my emails. And we have a
That's right.
special guest here. He's too fast. He's too furious. He's Justin Lappin, the middle Lappin boy here. And, he's ready to tell us and everyone else his favorite modes of transportation. As you all might know, Justin used to be a train conductor back in the day. But, just like in Looney Tunes commercials, or TV shows, he ran out of train tracks because that damn coyote. So he's here with us today to talk about top 5 modes of transportation. Justin, you have anything to say before we go ahead and get started here?
Well, I want to say,
Welcome.
I want to say thank you very much, guys, for inviting me to join you this evening. I'm quite surprised, given my lack of ability with technology, that I was able to get on. I can't even keep my phone charged, so being able to do a podcast is pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's
Great.
2020, yo. Everything's virtual.
That's right. Well, let's hope your computer stays on. So
it's fully charged, so we're good. We're good.
all right. So the order, we usually start with the guest first. We go from 5 to 1 as always. So Justin, why don't you go ahead and give us your number 5?
All right. So my number 5 mode of transportation is the canoe. It is about like 8,000 to 10,000 years old or something. That's what they dated it back to. Every society on Earth has used canoes as their mode of transportation. Also, I'm kind of fond of it because growing up, going on the Potomac and Shenandoah River, did a lot of fishing trips and things like that with my dad and with some of you guys. So that is my number 5 mode of transportation.
This is a surprise pick, but this is a good pick. I mean, me, Justin, Joey, and Barry used to go camping every year, and we would canoe down this river for 8 hours. It's probably one of the only modes of transportation that you can drink 35 beers and still be able to operate it.
And not get a DUI if you are operating it after drinking 35 beers.
See, that's Barry right there. One of our canoeing trips. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with this. I think that's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree here. I think canoes are not big man approved. You got to have like balance and that stuff. You lean one way, the wrong way, you're in the water, baby, and that's not where you want to be. I will take the other mode of transportation that allows you to drink 35 beers, and that's a golf cart any day of the week. So, no offense, but I'm gonna hate on the canoe just because your boys just, like I said, it hates on the big man. So I gotta kind of stick with my guns on that one. Ronnie, any thoughts?
Justin, I love this pick. If you think about a canoe, it's a leisurely activity if you want it to be. You can do an exercise with it with the rowing. You can go as fast as you want to. You can go into rapids. You can go into calm water and relax. It's a versatile mode of transportation, but also it's very quiet, very silent. Canoes were used by Native Americans to ambush their enemies silently in the night. So it is an effective weapon as well as an effective mode of transportation. I like this pick, Justin. Great pick.
I didn't even thought, Ronnie.
I'll try to keep my number 5 going just as good. So for my number 5, I'm going with the crab walk. I mean, before I found out about the crab walk, I was wasting countless hours a week in the gym. Now I don't even go to the gym, and I'm in the best shape of my life just by crab walking everywhere. I mean, I'm stronger than ever before. My flexibility is back. I feel like I can kick Martin Schulz in the face again. I mean, I feel 10 years younger. I mean, and if you ever want to take control of a meeting, you crab walk right into that room, and people will know you mean business. So that's why the crab walk is my number 5 mode of transportation.
right,
Yeah,
Danny, what
great
do you
pick
think?
here. Great pick. I remember playing crab soccer back when I was in elementary school, where you'd have to do the crab walk on rainy days in the Four Seasons room because you didn't have much room, so you couldn't play full-on games. So you had to get down and do the crab walk. We played crab soccer. It was a great game, great sport, great activity. I don't know about walking into meetings like that. I don't know if I'd stand back up anymore if that happened, but I'm telling you now, like if I get into that position right now, like as of like where I am in my life, it was on accident, not on purpose. So, Ronnie, thoughts?
Yeah, this is a terrible pick. Of all the walks you could do, the crab walk is easily the worst. Uh, it's completely inefficient. You get tired real quick.
You get
Also,
tired real quick.
yeah, I get tired real quick. And it's a stupid drinking game type activity as well. So if you've ever lost in crab walking, just know that it was stupid to begin with, and it's not your fault because it's an inefficient way to travel. Justin, what do you think?
So I agree with Ronnie in disagreeing with how bad of a pick that is. I mean, crab walk, that was the one activity, like whenever you're doing practices or whatever, and you guys are like warming up and trying to get into conditioning and shape, that everybody hated doing. So I would have to strongly disagree with the crab walk. And as Ronnie also pointed out, it is a very inefficient means of transportation. So that is my opinion on the crab walk.
Justin.
Bad
That
opinion.
perfectly leads me into my number 5, actually, of inefficient transportation and unreliable. But that's why it's my number 5, everybody. Okay, so just give me a little bit of a break. So my number 5 happens to be a person that's on this show. Funny story, we were out at a bar in Frostburg. That's why I included a picture of Justin. Those aren't all of his, okay? Don't worry, everybody. There was just a few beers involved, and Justin was the only person to actually ride it on his back. It ended terribly, as you'd think, probably actually exactly how you would think it ended. It ended that way. However, anytime that you can get somebody else to walk for you, I feel like is a win. So, number 5, Justin, I give you some props for you being the only person to ever try to let me ride your back. So, number 5, modes of transportation, Justin Lappin's back.
Yeah, this is a great pick. Justin's very stout. Give him a few beers, he's willing to carry you around. You might as well take him up on that. And if you are so inclined to take the transportation, then I'm sure he'll get you where you need to be. I think Justin's a very determined person. So at the end of the day, you'll get where you need to go. Might not be the prettiest, but you'll get there. So this is a great pick. Ryan, I'm sorry, Justin, what do you think?
I would agree that I am a great mode of transportation as long as you are not a keg on a dock during a bachelor party. That has been proven. I do not transport kegs, half empty kegs, very well on my back by the amount of damage that was done to that dock. But otherwise, yes, I mean, who doesn't want to have somebody else walk for them, like you said, Danny? It's the dream in life. You get around and you don't have to do anything. So, good pick.
Thanks.
Terrible pick. I mean, this is a horrible mode of transportation. I've probably seen Justin Lappin fall over more than anybody I've ever seen out of anybody. I mean, this guy's ass crack is showing just standing still. If he's carrying someone on his back, his whole ass is out, definitely. I mean, this guy smells like scrapple 90% of the time anyway.
So you're good.
He's just going to be sweating scrapple, and you got to deal with that smell, so terrible pick.
All right, well, take it easy on our guests here. It's just the first pick, but I guess I'll bring it back to great modes of transportation. With my number 5 is, of course, a barrel over a waterfall. I mean, in terms of not doing anything and having nature take its course, takes the cake. All you gotta do is hide in a barrel, and the water will do the rest of the work. Plus, when you hit the ground, the barrel will fully protect you. I'm pretty sure no one's ever died going over Niagara Falls in the barrel. It's super cool. People like watching it. You can put all kinds of things in barrels, other than different liquids, different solids, foods, cats, probably Snickers bars. You never know, but also humans. And when you go over a waterfall, it's really cool. I'm sure it's exhilarating. So going over a barrel in a waterfall is my number 5. What do you think there, Justin?
It's an interesting mode of transportation. That's for sure. I don't know if I disagree completely with it, but I'm not in love with the idea just due to the fact that there's a high likelihood of dying. So I'll have to say I disagree.
All right, Ryan, what do you think?
Does it have to be over a waterfall?
Yeah, it's a barrel over a waterfall.
If it's over a waterfall, this is a terrible pick. I mean, if it was just going downstream, like, all right, like it worked for, Bilbo and the dwarfs in The Hobbit. They escaped the elves, maybe.
They had some waterfalls.
I don't know about that. That was a stupid movie. But if you got to go over a waterfall, you got no control over it anyway. I mean, you're definitely going to die doing this. This is just a bad pick, Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we get just in round 1, I'm seeing this topic is very sizist. Once again, I don't think that I could fit in that barrel. I would definitely die because I wouldn't be able to get back out if I got in that barrel. So it's a terrible pick. Your boy's not going over a waterfall in anything, especially something that he can barely fit in. So terrible pick, Ronnie. Get some plus size barrels.
All right, looks like I swung and missed right there. I'm batting like around the Mendoza line, but I'll try to make it back. But we're rounding out to our number 4 picks here, and Justin, if you're ready, let's hear your number 4.
All right, my number 4 pick for modes of transportation is sled dogs. I think it is an awesome way to get around in a very inhospitable environment. To be able to take 6 dogs, throw them on the front of a sled, and just take off and get where you need to go is pretty amazing. And not to mention the fact that this is another one that's been around for thousands and thousands of years before there was any other way to get into these, very inhospitable environments. So that is why number 4 is sled dogs.
Ryan, what do you think?
It's a pretty badass pick. I like it. Sled dogs are cool. I mean, they still do that race up in Alaska every year. It's always Dan Sullivan's Alaskan of the Week, whoever wins that. So, yeah, I remember watching that fucking movie, that sled dog movie growing up. That one. Yeah, that one.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with this pick.
Yeah, anytime that you can get dogs in on the cast, I'll say is a good thing. So sled dogs, I think, is a good pick, Justin. Like this one, think you're getting off to a strong start. I think you're picking up well, and I think you've done way better than Ronnie has. So let me share this one little thing with you as Ronnie. Go ahead, Ronnie. What's your thoughts?
This is one of the worst picks ever on top 5, other than the dogs part. But the dogs, you have to feed them, and there's this weird pecking order. And so that's a lot of stuff you got to carry as their food. But then the snow and the cold. You need snow, you need cold, you need ice. I hate all of those things. I hate being cold. There's nothing to protect you from the elements. You're wrapped in and all these furs and stuff. It's kind of weird. You probably have to build an igloo every night, which sucks. There's a lot of work involved in sledding. So I'm going to go ahead and hate due to the account of all the cold. So, sorry,
over
Justin.
a waterfall.
It's all right.
He went over Niagara Falls in a barrel, but he's afraid of the cold.
Yeah.
Because that water's really warm.
You got a lid. You got a lid. You're covered. All right.
Well, for my number 4, I'm going down the same track that Danny's going down. He just didn't pick the right big guy. So for number 4, I'm going with Hodor as my number 4. I mean, if you have to go on some long journey, you might as well let some dude carry you. I mean, this guy's pretty giant, so nobody's going to mess with you. I mean, no one will ever close the door in your face again because this guy just keeps screaming, hold the door nonstop. I mean, he uses this fantastic shampoo, so he smells like coconut all the time. You know, it's definitely the only way to travel through Westeros. So, Hodor is my number 4.
Yeah, I think this has something to do with that Game of Thrones or something. I didn't watch that nonsense. That guy's obviously just an amateur Justin Lappin. This is a terrible pick. You should have had Justin up there. I mean, the guy's wasted, obviously. So, I mean, he's doing similar to what I said Justin did. But Justin did it to a much bigger guy. And that little tiny fellow on the back of that guy's back is just a little midget. So, fuck that guy, Justin, all the way.
All right, Justin, what are your thoughts?
Well, so being a person who gives piggyback rides all the time, you know, I gotta like this. This guy is, you know, spreading the wealth. He was given this gift of being large and able to carry people around, and he is, you know, just doing what he can to help others out. So I would have to say I agree, Ryan.
I'm sorry, I think I skipped over myself. So my thoughts are, this is a terrible pick. Bran, this jerk, is taking advantage of a man that's had been traumatized, so he can't say anything other than Hodor the rest of his life. In fact, Bran is the one who went back in the past, destroyed this guy's mind, so he would become his mode of transportation when Bran lost his ability to walk. And we all know how the people who don't have the ability to walk feel about me. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I'm not a fan of Bran. I like Hodor. He's doing the stuff. You know, he's doing the great stuff. But Bran, you really mess with Hodor's mind just to make him your donkey, your mule, essentially. So screw you, Bran. Terrible pick.
The only brand I fuck with is Raisin or Russell. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna get into
Russell
my number.
Brand. You fuck with Russell Brand?
That's my man's. My number 4 is a fantastic pick. I really start to pick up the pace. Yes, everybody, that's the Pope Mobile. My number 4 mode of transportation. You see, it's a Mercedes pimping. Dude's just chilling in the easy chair. My man's chilling in an easy chair, just riding around, waving at people. I mean, talk about, you know, you don't want to drive yourself, and fuck a limo. No one can see you. You want to be in a Pope Mobile. You want everyone to see you. You want everyone to know what's up, and you're like daring people to shoot at you too. You're like, yeah, you're flipping everyone off. Like, yeah, motherfuckers, like you can't do anything. I'm in the Pope Mobile. Shit's invincible. It's my shit right there. The Pope Mobile is my number 4, and I get the list started right now is where the heat starts. So, Ron, any thoughts?
Danny, this is a fantastic pick. You know, the Pope Mobile, you know, first off, convincing people to watch you travel in a car is millions of people is such a great thing to begin with, but the fact that they built something for you to sit higher above, completely encased in bulletproof glass, is such a great thing, such a great feeling to be away from the peons and the normies. You can wave to them, they can throw their tight things at you or whatever, and give you some money, but you ain't got to touch them. You ain't got to breathe in their stench. This is a great pick. Danny, this might be your best pick ever. Great job.
Thanks.
Justin, what do you think?
Mobile.
I would have to say this is an excellent pick as well. I mean, just the fact that you're sitting in easy, like a recliner, driving around, like that's the dream right there. I get to go. I don't have to do anything. I just sit in my recliner and go. What's wrong with that? So I agree.
That might be. It could be a toilet. We're not sure about that too. So he might.
It might be, because how long is he in there for? He could be in there for like 2 hours on this drive. He's got to, relieve himself. He's old, so he's got to pee every like 20 minutes. So yes.
This is way better than your Russell Brand pick. I mean, this is a fantastic pick. I mean, the Pope has got to be the original troll. I mean, way before, Ronnie and the internet. I mean, this guy just draws attention to him, and you're like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's in this see-through car. He's going to do something. But then he never does anything. So people are just sitting there with anticipation, waiting for something to happen, and nothing ever happens. I mean, David Blaine built his career off of just copying the Pope. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with this fantastic number 4 pick.
Bask in the glory.
All right, Danny, I'm going to light the white smoke because he killed it. I'm going to hop into my number 4. And it is, of course, the best type of pedaling, beer cart pedaling, as a great mode of transportation. You get to sit at a stool at a bar while some guy and your friends pedal to drive you around. Of course, if you're me, you don't pedal at all. You make everyone else do all the work. You get to drink beer, take tours of places, historic towns, whatnot, or don't pay attention to anything. You just do what you want. You get beer, you pedal, you go places. It's fun, it's relaxing, and hopefully everyone else does all the work. So I love beer cart pedaling. What do you think, Justin?
I mean, I love it. That is an excellent pick. What other way you get? It's literally sitting at a bar and going. So, I mean, I don't know any other mode of transportation that you can do while sitting at a bar. So I'd have to say I love it. It would suck if somebody else isn't pedaling and your ass is having to take them across town because they're too lazy. But at the same time, you're drunk, so you don't even realize they're not pedaling. So great pick.
Thanks, Justin.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with this. I mean, I'm always about, loopholes and working the system. I mean, me and Tom Brady, that's what we do. I mean, if you can get around drunk driving or drunk pedaling, whatever it is, drunk transportation, this is the way to do it. I mean, it's hilarious that they found a loophole that you can get around and not get a DUI while you're drunk as shit. So it's a good pick.
Yes, I think this is a terrible pick. I hate beer. Beer is terrible. Should be a cocktail bar. And there are other modes of transportation where there are bars, including a yacht, for example. And I'd much rather sit at a bar on a yacht moving in the ocean than pedaling your guys' asses around while I'm sitting there sweating out all the beer, getting a headache. So I'm going to say I'm not going to agree with number 4 here because, really just because I hate beer. So, fuck number 4 for Ronnie. Sorry, man.
Sorry, Danny. I always know your disdain for beer, so I shouldn't have said
anything else while you're going on the beer cart.
No, you can only have beer. You can't have any other. Oh, I guess you might be able to have hard seltzers because they're brewed.
Jeez.
Can I fancy you with a black raspberry truly there, Danny?
We know about our hard seltzers. All right, we've already gone through this, and I think the 5th episode of this.
All right, Justin, we're going to number 3 here. We're already at 3. What do you got?
Number 3, all right. For number 3, I have one that I feel like a lot of people might hate on, but I have really grown to love it recently, and that is the minivan. The minivan is an excellent mode of transportation when you have children, all right? This thing can, all the doors open up on the minivan. at a push of a button. You don't even have to go open them up, so the kids can get in, do what they need to do, get ready for you to get out of there, and then it doubles as a truck. All right, you put all the seats down, they fold right into the floor, and now I can go to Home Depot and pick up lumber in my minivan. So it's the best of both worlds. You get your sedan aspects, you get your truck aspects all in one. So that is my number 3.
I mean,
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with this. I mean, what? Anything mini, I mean, that's definitely not big man approved. I mean, just give me a regular size van. I mean, do you expect me to pass out in the back of a minivan? There's little shit everywhere and stuff like that. I need a regular size van to be able to fully stretch out in the back like I did painting all those years. I mean, so I'm gonna disagree with the mini part.
All right.
I call bullshit on this because I remember in college, I got a Jeep like Grand Cherokee, and I remember Justin being like, SUVs are stupid. They're basically like minivans. And at the time, he was driving a pickup truck. And I remember saying to him, well, isn't a pickup truck just a minivan without a roof on it? And he was like, no, that's stupid. And now he's praising minivans over here, not even 20 years later. Okay? I call bullshit on this number 3. I think he ran out of time preparing for the show and just threw minivan on his list because I know his true disdain for the minivan itself. And I love minivans. I'll pass it out in them and drive them all time. But Justin Lappin hated big time minivans for decades, so I can't accept this as number 3.
Yeah, Justin, sorry. I'm going to have to also hate on this. Minivans are specifically for 90s and early 2000s soccer moms. I think everyone has this. I didn't even know they made minivans anymore. I thought the SUV completely replaced it, but I guess I'm wrong.
They're coming back, baby. They're coming back.
They got vacuums in now.
They do have cool sliding doors, and sometimes they're automatic. But other than that, I mean, I'd rather get like a gigantic Ford Expedition. Just like you can at least haul ass in that and store stuff, and it's got a flat top, and you don't look like you wear fanny packs to the park because all your kids have eczema or need sunblock or something like that. So sorry, Justin, I'm hating on it. That was a bad pick. But we got Ryan. We got Ryan coming up. So
I definitely used to hate on the minivans, and then I got one, and I was like, how did I not live without a fucking minivan for this long?
They're great, bro. They are great. If you have never driven one, you should drive a minivan.
Well, I'll get to my number 3, and probably the best way ever to make an entrance. I'm going with my number 3 pick, which is the slip and slide. I mean, if there's a better way to enter a party, I haven't seen one. I mean, slip and slides are just smart. I mean, you're letting momentum do all the work for you. I mean, this is the way I used to, I entered to pick up a lot of my first dates. I mean, obviously all those ladies were a little intimidated because I never got a second date, but that shouldn't stop you from using this excellent mode of transportation. My number 3 pick, the slip and slide.
Yeah, slip and slides are tight because I mean you wouldn't think so, but they are big man proof too. Because as long as we got our momentum going and we're slick down, baby, we'll move on that shit too. Actually, at an amazing rate of speed, and you better watch out if you're in our way. There will be problems. So I will go ahead and agree with the slip and slide. It is big man approved. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with that number 3. Good one, Ryan.
So,
Ronnie.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's me. Why do I always keep on skipping myself? Brian, this is a terrible pick. Slip and slides are the bane of my existence. I'd always sort of veer off to the side, and there's always that seam that would cut me, slice me up real good, and whoever would put it down would always have like a rock or two under it or a stick, and I definitely hit that for like 100% of the time. So and you know, like if it doesn't have a bump at the end, like Crocodile Mile is a lot better than Slip and Slide. The bump at the end into the little splash pool, you need that. Just a straight slip and slide. I mean, that's amateur hour.
It had a bump.
No, that was Crocodile Mile, baby, not Slip and Slide. Slip and Slide was just a sheet. Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
That's got a bump.
No, no bump.
Look at that bump that Johnny's going over.
Yeah, there's a bump, but there's no pool at the end. There needs to be a pool. So I'm gonna hate on that. Justin, what do you think about Slip and Slide?
So I got mixed feelings on the Slip and Slide, but I'm going to have to disagree with the Slip and Slide for similar reasons as to Ronnie had pointed out. It's inevitable that you are going to get stabbed with a stick that is underneath of that Slip and Slide. So, you know, it's, although entertaining, especially if you put down a bunch of soap on it to increase your speed, it's very entertaining, but every time you put one down, somebody walks away bleeding and crying. So I would have to disagree.
All right. Well, I guess I'll move into my number 3. Sorry, Ronnie, did I cut you off? I apologize.
Go for it.
Justin has brought animals into the realm already, but I figured, you know, I'll try to one up them a little bit. My number 3 mode of transportation is a tiger. I just feel that if you ever just rode a tiger around, I mean, yeah, horses are cool or whatever, but if you ride a tiger around, no one will fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You just leave your tiger chilling outside. You walk inside, like, who's tiger? You know, people walking inside, like, who's tiger's out there? You're like, that's my mode of transportation. That's my fucking tiger. So my number 3 mode of transportation is tiger, because I just feel like it's like, you know, it's fast, they're agile, they can get you where you need to go, and no one will ever fuck with you. So number 3, sorry about the sled dogs, snow dogs, but my number 3 is the good old tiger. Ronnie, any thoughts?
Yeah, this is a great pick. You know, He-Man rode a tiger. That was super cool. I'm not sure of anything else that's ever ridden a tiger. Maybe some ticks. I'm sure ticks enjoy it. But you know, there is the danger factor there a little bit. You know, in terms of, you know, the tiger wanting to ride you and turn you into dinner. Also, I'm pretty sure this is animal abuse if you do actually try to ride a tiger. So I have mixed feelings, but I like it in general. Justin, what do you think? Tiger.
So I will say, I'm not so much sure about tiger, but like, if you're just going with big cats, are you including all big cats? Because Harold and
could be a
Kumar.
lion.
Okay, Harold and Kumar proved that riding a cheetah is a very efficient method of transportation. You know, they're fast.
And now it's 2.
That was 2
exactly.
people.
Now it's 2 of them. Yeah.
2 people rode that cheetah. So, you know, I would have to agree that a large cat would be a very excellent mode of transportation to get you where you need to go fast. So I like it.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with this. I mean, cats, Danny, you had cats twice on your worst animals list. I mean, like
house cats. House cats. They're different from big cats, baby.
They're all cats, man.
You're probably allergic to it too.
Dude, tigers are lazy as shit. I mean, they're sleeping 22 hours a day. So when you walk outside and you're like, hey, tiger, I'm trying to go to the store, he's going to be like, come back in 13 to 14 hours. I mean, you have like optimal 2 hours to ride that tiger a day. It's probably going to be at 3 a.m. in the morning or something like that when you're sleeping. So just not economical, man. So,
dude, it's like you know, like you have your arsenal of cars, you know, or like your shoes. You don't always wear your nice shoes. You don't bring the tiger out all the time. You ride your horse most of the time. You bring the tiger out for the parties. I'm just saying. Ronnie, you can go ahead with your number 3, I guess. So.
All right. I guess we're going to my number 3. The tiger is very controversial, but going to another animal here. It's a flying squirrel, but you're not actually riding the flying squirrel. You are the flying squirrel. The flying squirrel wingsuit is such a cool way of getting around. Pretty much you have to climb up a goddamn mountain, and then you put on this crazy suit that makes you look like a flying squirrel, and then you jump off because you're psychotic, and you hope that you can glide and there's no holes. If you're like this guy, you're really crazy because then you go through this giant hole and not die, and he actually did that. But it's super cool because you can wear your GoPro. I got a GoPro, so I'm pretty much going to do this one day and survive probably because I haven't seen anyone die yet on all these YouTube videos, but I watch them sometimes because they're super cool. It must be really fun to get really that close to the ground and dying like this guy is. And I'm actually kind of scared now. I'm not going to do it, but super cool. Looks cool. So the flying wingsuit is my number 3. What are your thoughts there, Justin?
So I would have to disagree with this choice. I don't like heights too much, so I would never do anything like this. But B, in order to do it, you have to climb up a mountain first. Like, that's just enough right there to be like, this sucks. I got to walk up this mountain, and then I got to jump off to my death. Like, sorry. I disagree with this pick, Ronnie. I apologize.
You can canoe up the mountain.
What's that?
You can canoe up the mountain if you wanted to. Ryan.
I mean, this is just a fucking terrible fucking pick. I mean, everything Justin said, I was gonna say. I mean, who wants to climb a fucking mountain to fucking be able to transport anywhere? I mean, the worst part of sledding is having to walk up a hill. Now you got to walk up a fucking mountain just to do this shit. I mean, and you can't, like, if you do this shit and they're like, man, did you hear Ronnie died? And you're like, oh man, how'd he go? Well, he jumped off a mountain with this suit that was supposed to make him glide. You're going to be like, oh yeah, well, that makes total sense that he's dead. I mean, you don't even feel bad for these people, so terrible pick.
Yeah, there's definitely a weight limit for this apparatus. I'm sure there's no chance that they make that in a double XL long. I'm telling you that right now. And yeah, like I when there's like, oh, you can't do like parachuting or whatever if you're over 260. It's like, I'm staying at 261, baby. I'm not doing that shit ever, and use that as excuse. Always. Fuck that shit, yo. I'm not jumping off of shit. And I didn't even talk about getting to the top of the mountain. Even if you drop me off up there on a fucking helicopter, your ass, I'm not jumping off that fucking mountain. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's craziness.
All right, all positive all around for my pick. So we'll move on to Justin's number 2. Wow, we're already at number 2. All right, here we go.
My number 2 is the jet ski. To be able to go out onto a flat lake, hop on a jet ski, and just take off doing like 60 miles an hour across the water is a pretty awesome experience. You know, you get the wind going through your hair, and it just feels great to be out on a jet ski. So that is my number 2 pick.
I'll go ahead and say that's a fantastic pick as well. I mean, jet skis are fun as shit. You can just take them out there, go fucking nuts. And if you fall off, nothing really happens. You'll be all right. You'll live through it. I mean, yeah. I mean,
you might need a short trip to the hospital, but you'll be fine. You'll live.
Nah, you'll be all right. I mean, who doesn't love riding up on a jet ski and having some hot babe behind you? Or for me, it was always Conus riding behind me. Riding in style in a jet ski. So I like that pick.
Well, I disagree with you're not going to get hurt. I mean, if you drive into some fucking rocks or into like a bridge or something going 60 miles an hour, I don't care if you're on water or not. Your ass probably is not going to survive that. It's like riding a motorcycle. And from what I hear, I think it's just like water is like concrete or cement at a certain speed anyway. Now, saying all that, this is a great pick. I mean, wonderful pick. If I lived on a lake, which is like everyone likes the, like the ocean, fuck the ocean, give me a lake house so I can just hop on my jet ski and like cruise across the lake to get some drinks or go to maybe I'll get one where adapt it and I can ride over like the golf club or something like this. There's a golf club if it's on like a nice lake. Yeah, man, jet skis are tight. They're definitely big man approved. Big men can do it. You don't even really need much strength at all. If you're not paying attention, you'll just fall right off the back of it. I mean, that's happened before, but it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and they are relatively safe for like the amount of fun you can have doing them, unlike jumping off of a mountain. So, Ronnie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like this pick. I like jet skis. I've been on a few. I think what's cool is like you can have a passenger with you as well. There is no license you need. I don't think you just rent one or you buy one, and no one can really stop you. Turns out water. You can do tricks. You can go real fast. You can hop waves. Matt Berry is with you on the back. Make sure he has a life preserver. You just push him off in the middle of the lake and drive away, which is super cool too. So, like jet skis, I think it's a great pick.
All right. So, Ronnie, when you came up with the topic this week, I was a little disheartened because, everybody's using modes of transportation to get somewhere. It's not always about getting somewhere. Sometimes it's about the trip. That's why my number 2 is the merry-go-round. I mean, everybody's always thinking about the next step. No one ever stops and smell the roses. And that's what the merry-go-round is all about. I mean, look at this picture right here. I don't think I've ever been happier in my life. And that's what life is all about. I mean, you only get one ticket. Enjoy your time around. Merry-go-round, my number 2 pick.
It's great. I mean, it's great life advice. Great pick. These are good for everybody of all ages. Kids love them, and you can also have older adults as well. You can have some of them have like benches, so you can just sit down if you want to just sit down and ride on it and watch everybody else watching you, or you can ride on horses that ride up and down. There's ones that don't move. Everyone can do these things, and then as an adult, some of the really cool times is like watching your kid do like those kind of activities for like, the first time or like just by themselves. It's like it's enjoyment, right? It's about the fun, about the time, and it's always. I always remember the places that have merry-go-rounds too. So, great number 2, Ronnie.
Ryan. Originally, I was gonna hate on this, which is a shocker because I don't hate on anything. But you kind of convinced me that this isn't a bad thing. Even though you don't actually go anywhere and you just go up and down in the circle, and it is a ride that's designed for minor children. At the circus, but it's fun. If you're having fun, you're doing something, you're enjoying the scenes. You're hanging out with your friends. You're having a good time at the circus or the carnival, wherever the hell you're at. There's nothing wrong with that. So this is a good pick. I like it.
All right. Well, I'm going to be the odd man out here. I gotta disagree with this. For one reason. Have I only hated on yours tonight, Ryan?
Yeah, all of them.
And as Danny was saying earlier, it's cool to see your kids get on the merry-go-round, but they always put them in places where it's like, yo, I'm trying to get in and do one thing. Like, why is there a merry-go-round at the mall? I don't need a merry-go-round at the mall. I'm going in there to get something, get my kid's haircut at the cartoon cuts or whatever, and they put a merry-go-round right in front of the cartoon cuts because they know they're going to make a killing off it. I'm trying to get in and get out, and no, I got to spend $5 for my kid to hop on the merry-go-round for 45 seconds. So I would have to disagree with that. And then another one is like minor league baseball stadiums. They love putting them in there. It's like, no, we're here to watch the baseball game. and all you kids want to do is go get on the merry-go-round, enjoy the fine aspects of baseball, and learn to appreciate all that baseball is instead of going on the merry-go-round. So I would have to disagree with this.
Merry-go-rounds are the only thing that makes Bay Sox game tolerable.
Listen, I have to say, out of all the podcasts we've done, that's the greatest guest response to one of the picks. So I really appreciate that. But I guess we can move on to Mr. Daniel.
So I'm gonna roll into my number 2. Something that I love this mode of transportation. I use it all the time, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. It's a hoverboard. Everyone thinks this is not invented yet. That this is a movie, some kind of trickery. I have one of these. You got to wear the special shoes with them. It's fantastic. People have no idea what's going on when I'm riding it. I usually do ride it on tracks and paths, so it's similar to this kind of nature around it, so that I can enjoy at different angles and views. It's funny because all the Karens and Chads really just, it's like a different kind of skateboard, so they get really angry about, anytime I'm riding my hoverboard. So my number 2 is a good old hoverboard. Anytime I don't got to walk, I'm down with it. Ronnie?
Yeah, Danny, I like the hoverboard. I like the pick. I don't know if this is big man approved. I thought we were doing the whole big man approved thing, but
I got the big one, don't worry.
The hoverboard is a great way to get around, especially if you happen to be in a movie like Back to the Future. Getting away from thugs like Griff and his band of futuristic henchmen.
Did you say Griff?
Yeah.
Biff?
No, it's Griff. Griff is the one in the future. God, man. Your brother doesn't even watch movies. What's wrong? What's wrong? Me and Danny are the only guys that watch fantasy movies around here, so stop commenting.
Exactly.
It's Griff Tannen, hating on Marty McFly, Marty McFly's son, who he gets confused with. But yeah, it's a great mode of transportation. I'm surprised because that movie has a lot of modes of transportation that are kind of cooler, like a time machine that can fly, and used to be a drug lord's DeLorean car.
That's not real.
And cocaine inside the door. That's kind of cool. The flying train, in the third one. So, but it's a great pick. I like it. What do you think, Justin?
So it's hard to say because it doesn't exist, whether or not it is an awesome mode of transportation. I mean, I know they have, what are those, like, hoverboard that people have in their houses that, like, they charge and they catch fire and, like, burn their houses down. And, like, anybody over the age of 12, like, breaks their leg when they get on one of them. So I'll have to disagree with your sentiments there on the hoverboard. If it was, futuristic modes of transportation, I would go for it, but I'm going to disagree.
I love my big man approved products. I mean, the hoverboard has no weight limit. I mean, this thing can hold anything. I mean, I remember back in the day being at Holy Redeemer and just looking out the window, and I was like, son of a bitch. It'll just be Danny outside in the parking lot zooming around on his hoverboard, usually with a couple babes on him. Yep. I mean, I remember I asked my mom and dad for a hoverboard for Christmas, and they would never get it for me. Look, Danny's the favorite. We already spent all the money on his. Can't afford one. I ended up getting a hoverboard 3 years later from my girl cousin, and it was pink. Everyone was making fun of me. So terrible memories for me, but fantastic memories for you. So fantastic pick for you. Terrible pick for me.
They've actually used 4 of them at once under an elephant and done an elephant on. That's how they get me on it. And then they have the BMA, Big Man Approved stamp right on it.
Can't beat that. Can't beat the BMA hoverboard. All right. So I guess it's my number 2. Of course, one of the greatest modes of transportation. known to mankind. Of course, I'm talking about the Hindenburg. Let me tell you a little bit of something about the Hindenburg. 245 meters long airship. It's designed in Germany to do transatlantic flights. It was originally designed to use helium, but helium stinks, so they use a really cool gas called hydrogen. It's able to take 36, 35, 60 people across the ocean at 80 miles an hour, which is great. And, a lot of people like to watch it. And, oh no! Oh, God, no! No, the people! All the people, the children! They're dying! They're burning! They're in flames! Oh, man, my pick is ruined! Completely ruined! God damn, why do they use hydrogen, those idiots? Blew up in their face. But anyways, I gotta stick with my number 2. It's the Hindenburg. So, Justin, what do you think?
Interesting pick. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't go with just blimps in general. To pick the Hindenburg's an interesting pick. I would have to disagree just due to all the humanity aspect of it. Anytime you're not bright enough to realize that hydrogen's extremely flammable and probably isn't the best gas to use to float your airship. And by the way, it only carried 60 people. Like, how much did that thing cost to build? And it only carried 60 people. Like, come on, you gotta give me at least a couple hundred people on that bad boy. So I'm gonna disagree with the Hindenburg.
Man, Hindenburg going down in flames just like this pick. It's a fucking
We
terrible
didn't know that
pick.
when I made the pick.
Terrible pick. I can't wait for you to do Titanic for your number 1 and do the same thing over again. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, fucking David Blaine's coming up and he's using balloons. He's just going to hold a bunch of balloons and hover above the Empire State Building or something. It's a lot cooler than the Hindenburg. It's terrible number 2 pick. Hindenburg.
I mean, this is a pick and trip that people, all of this goes down in history once again. I guess, unfortunately, Ronnie decides to make a joke of it. Yeah, thanks a lot, Ronnie.
It's serious. I didn't know.
Now, we're going to start getting seriously boycotted. The NFL is definitely going to boycott this episode. That's all I got. I mean, Drew Brees is furious at this pick.
Wasn't he part owner of the Hindenburg?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was their tagline. The Hindenburg. Don't worry, the ride. It'll just be a breeze.
Exactly.
And then burst into flames like their playoff hopes every year.
Oh,
all right, Justin, I guess that one didn't work out, and I guess you could say that pick went down in flames. So let's see if you can do better than that.
all right. So my number 1 pick is the houseboat. All right. Who doesn't want your mode of transportation to be also where you live? It's kind of like the rich person's trailer park. All right. You can go out, you can take it out to a barge party or a float party out in the middle of the lake, drink some beers with a whole bunch of rednecks. What else? You can have a slide that goes off the top deck of your houseboat down into the lake that you're staying on. All around, I think the houseboat is an excellent mode of transportation.
I'm going to go ahead and strongly disagree with this.
Look at that slide.
Yeah, but you don't know because someone's in there dropping a deuce that just goes in the lake, and then someone goes off the slide right into that. I mean, that's fucking a nightmare right there. Who wants to deal with that? I mean, CONUS has already invested heavily on getting a houseboat. So, I mean, that's the kind of people we're dealing with. We're dealing with houseboat CONUS. I mean, that's the people you want to hang out with on a houseboat. So I'm going to go ahead and disagree with the tiny boat house.
Obviously, Ryan had some pent-up anger towards Justin's hate for his picks, because this is definitely a great pick, as you saw from the photograph that that was shared. Houseboats I think, are pretty fantastic. Now, unless you get like sick on like moving water, I guess, then it's a terrible big. But I feel like it's kind of just like a never-ending, like waterbed. You know what I mean? But it is pretty cool. I feel like you can kind of like do your thing. You can live wherever, park wherever, kind of. Wake up different places and travel. Coast to coast, like coastlines, to kind of get to some cool places probably. And you don't have to like worry about staying in hotels and stuff like that. It's a great pick. Definitely unique, unique thought. And Conus, we can't wait for you to get that, buddy. We're looking forward to that housewarming.
Yeah, I think this is a great pick, Justin. Ryan, what if Conus's houseboat that he is buying had a carousel on it, and you and him could carousel all day long, holding hands, and actually get somewhere on your houseboat? This thing is fantastic. You get to live in a place wherever you want to on the water. You can just pick up and move. If someone's like, "Oh man, get away from my dock," you're like, "All right." You go 50 yards away, you're still in your houseboat. It's super cool. All the modern amenities, and you don't just poop into the water. They have like little septic tanks in there that you drain and stuff. So I love this pick. I think it's great. Good job, Justin. It's a great number one. Wow. All right. So I think we're going to you, Ryan. Let's see if you can do better than the houseboat.
I definitely can, because I'm going with the ultimate form of transportation. Of course, I'm going to go with running. I mean, this is, you have access to this optimal form of transportation at all times. I mean, I don't know why walking became the default. I mean, it's a subpar method of transportation. I mean, Nick Jowers used to run to every party he went to in college. I mean, he would show up stinking and sweating and then proceed to pull every chick at that party. And I mean, that's got to tell you something. I mean, running is the main way we used to settle beef back in the day. Instead of fighting, we would use these things in crew battles where we compete against other neighborhoods in different competitions. I mean, Burlington Heights always had Justin steady hands lapping on the A carry. We had Roger not in the ear Gaines on the funnel. But I mean, we always ended every event with running with our anchor, Danny Fast Shoes. I mean, we were always embarrassing College Park. We mopped the floor with Reisterstown. I mean, we were pretty much unstoppable. So that's why running is my number one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, because I was so good at it, it's just, I feel like now the only reason that anybody should ever run is to like get away from danger, or from like if you're running from like the police or something like that. But in general, you know what I mean? Like running and jogging, angers me. I hate it. It's terrible for your joints. That's why that guy was wearing knee braces. That's why I wear knee braces when I run. I wear ankle braces, knee braces, elbow braces, shoulder braces. It hurts all your joints. It fucks you up big time. Running is the worst way of transportation. That's why we keep on trying to invent all these different ways for us not to walk around or to run around. That's why I have this whole show, is that we don't have to do that thing. Hate it. I hate running. Sucks. Like I said, unless there's a ball involved, right, where you're like shooting it or trying to stop a ball, or that's all right. You can run then, or if you're getting chased by the cops. But otherwise, baby, I mean, you should always wear tennis shoes just in case you got to run. You never know when you're gonna have to run, but you use it in emergency situations only.
Wow. All right. I feel like this pick was made on purpose for Danny to comment on. I'll go ahead and say I like running. I don't like running long distances. Only sprints. Long distances are the worst. It's just really, it's like fast walking with like a lot of motion. It's terrible. Fast walking is great, by the way. Sprinting is fantastic. if you guys watched last week, I had that on my Olympic events, sprinting, which is great. But yeah, running's fun. I get winded easily now. I used to run a lot, and it's a good way for kids and dogs to burn their energy. So I'm all about running. What do you think, Justin?
All right, Ryan, you did it. I love this pick. All right. I mean, I hate everything about getting ready to go running and actually running, but I love running because you get that endorphins after you go running, the runner's high. When you come back from a run, it just like puts you in the best mood that you've been in the entire day. So I will agree that it sucks, but I love running. So excellent pick there.
Thanks.
All right, Dan.
Ronnie.
So, get to my. You all thought, oh, this guy's only going to use things that will take him around, not use things. He's not going to put something on his list that he actually has to make move, right? Incorrect, everybody. That's right. My number one is the good old reliable tricycle. And you thought, oh, yes, they only make these for kids. You are way incorrect. Look at this one right here. It's got huge tires. You can take it off-road, and you can take it to the beach. This young lady seems to have some kind of wine outing in mind. They have ones like these older couple where they have an umbrella underneath. Talk about a nice leisurely time. You don't got to try to balance. You're tipping over all the time. You sit down, just have a nice leisurely ride on your tricycle. That's a good way to get some nice, good exercise and enjoyment out of life. Hop on your tricycle, enjoy it, baby. Enjoy it because it's these are the simple things in life that get you through. The tricycle's my number one.
Yeah, I like the easy riding nature of the tricycle, but I have to hate on this, Danny. I'm sorry. Whenever I'm going to a sporting event or something where there's a lot of people going to the same direction, there's always these rickshaw assholes on these tricycles, and they want me to pay them $20 to take me not even quarter of a mile. Man, I could just run there, and running is a better, greater mode of transportation. And we all know that running is big man approved, so I'm all about that big man approved. So I'm hating on the tricycle. Go ahead, Justin.
I was going to hate on it, but I do like the fact that there's no risk of falling over. It's very, very laid back. So I'll have to agree with your sentiment for the tricycle. I think it leads to a relaxing bike ride. So I would agree with it.
Go ahead and agree as well. I mean, way better than the bicycle. Don't even get me started on the unicycle. I mean, this is better than both those combined. I mean, no falling over, no worrying about balance. I mean, you saw in that picture, you got some babe drinking a bottle of wine in 6-inch heels on the, tricycle, getting it done. I think it's a good. If you got to get it done, you got to get it done on a tricycle. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with that pick.
That's right.
All right. I guess it's up to me to round this out with the best pick, the number one mode of transportation. We all know it as getting shot out of a cannon. Yeah, that's right. Loading yourself up into a medieval, or not a medieval, but a industrial, I guess, or no, whatever the period is before that. Type gunpowder propelled tube. Shoot yourself out. You can go over walls. You fly through the air like a bird. You can destroy stuff on the way. It's super cool. And then you're a huge circus act. People stand around watching, waiting for you to get shot outside of a cannon. So you bring enjoyment to so many different people. And hopefully there's a net at the other end. So for all the daredevils out there like me, getting shot out of a cannon's the coup d'etat, the greatest form of transportation. What do you think, Ryan?
Justin.
Justin. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, Ronnie. Sorry, I'm gonna I'm going to have to disagree with this one as well. Just the can. Come on, it's a cannon. You like these death-defying the acts of transportation. So yeah, I feel like it is limited in its use. All right. How long does it take to set up, to prepare yourself? Then you gotta get in the tube, and then what? You go like 100 feet down the road and land in a big net. Like, I feel like there's a lot of prep work into this mode of transportation. So I'm gonna have to disagree with the cannon shot.
Yeah, Ronnie, I was afraid you were going to go with the Challenger for your number one, but this is an even worse pick than that. I mean, Jesus Christ, who's ever wanted to be a sperm in their life and just get shot out of a big shaft? I mean, that's your ultimate dream. I mean, Jesus, that's a terrible pick. It seems like a lot of things can go wrong. You can definitely overshoot that. I mean, the only good cannon ever made was Nick Cannon, so it's a terrible number one. Maybe the worst number one all time.
I mean, they made Angry Birds off of this, the video game off of this. I mean, you think that these shoulders are fitting in that tiny shaft, baby? You know that shit ain't big man approved. At the carnival, while y'all were getting shot out of a cannon, your boy was getting hit in the stomach with a cannonball. All right. So with a different event, I think much more entertaining to see someone get hit with a cannonball than to possibly die, like Ryan said, and get ejaculated out of a giant metal tube that wouldn't even fit me. So yeah, once again, basically, Ronnie is the definition of a sizist. That's right, America. If you don't know, sizism is real. You're looking at the face of it right there, in that Orioles fan. I think 4 out of his 5 were not big man approved.
I picked the biggest mode of transportation on this whole list, the Hindenburg. No one else picked something that big.
I don't think we've had a more negative list ever.
Fair.
All right, I guess I win this week again. As always, the victor go the spoils. And, we end every week with the ethical question. And this week is all about desserts. Now, say you get a dessert and you're feeling generous and you decide to give the whole dessert to someone else. Are you entitled then to sneak a bite from said dessert? Justin, we'll start with you.
I don't see what the ethical part is here. Of course you're entitled to sneak a bite. Like, it was your dessert. You are asking for, 1/50th of your dessert that you've given to somebody else. So I would say you are definitely allowed to sneak a bite of the dessert that you willingly gave to somebody else. They should be glad that you gave them the dessert. So yes, you are.
All right, Ryan, what do you think?
No, you can't. Once you give something away, that is no longer yours anymore. So you can't just sneak a bite. I mean, that's stealing. That is no longer your property once you transition that to somebody else. I mean, like, so no, terrible. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. This is, if you want a bite, you take a bite, then you offer them the dessert. You don't give the dessert and then take the bite. Once you've passed on your dessert, you've passed on it. And if they offer, you should really try this, it's really good. It's okay to take a bite then because they offered it, but it's theirs to offer you back because you gave it to them. So you are not allowed to just take a bite off someone's plate if you gave it to them. Just saying.
Justin, I'm glad you're here. You're the voice of reason. You're absolutely entitled to a bite of that dessert. It's still your dessert. You're just allowing someone else to eat it. It's still yours. You got it. You stole it from work, or you took it from work. That baklava, Monica, that I took a bite from, I gave to you. It's a big ass piece of baklava. She's getting mad because I ate piece of corner. I mean, that was technically my corner. It's all my baklava. I could have eaten the whole thing, but I was being nice. and giving you some baklava. So if I just want a bite, you should be thankful, like Justin said, and give me that little bite and not hold a grudge for 3 years over that piece of baklava. So
Hold that grudge.
So that person that gave you that house, Ronnie, can just come in and take a room whenever they want?
I bought it. I bought the house. It's different. He didn't give me the house. If he gave me the house, sure, I'd let him stay anytime he wanted to. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly. And you would too. You would have to. Because you feel obligated because they did a nice thing for you. That's how it works. That's how it works, baby. All right. I guess that's it for the week. Thank you guys for coming on. Special thank you to Justin Lappin for hopping on here and giving us some great modes of transportation. If you guys have anything else to say, go for it.
Thanks for coming, Justin.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Take care, guys. See you
I'm
next
right.
See y'all next time.
I hate all your things.